after because I still thought I perceived it to be true. It was told to me by a web developer who went to school for web design, and I think that he was referring to as a splash of the technologies. But like it was something that he told me liar on.
How can you blame people for thinking it was a lie when you wait weeks?
I didn't blame them.
Clarify?
I didn't blame them. I answered your question. I didn't blame them. I said it wasn't a lie, and I waited to clarify it. That's it. I answered your question.
And so you understand how people can perceive that as a lie.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine.
I understand. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is semantics. I genuinely thought a totally different word meant something else because this is what was told to me, and he saw the emails. So when I'm getting called a liar and then being triple attacked and it's a dog and it's a pylon, the only way that I can come forward with the truth is on my own terms, and I'm going to show him the emails that I never lied.
But did you really think, like as you said, the web developer said it first, but you repeated it saying it was a non-functioning splash page. Did you really think the whole website was non-functioning?
I 110%. This is like, it's like one
She's 110% positive she believed it to be a non-functional splash page. But it was still accessible, it was still functional, and it still accumulated, according to Blaire White, 20,000 names. That to me is not some splash page. That to me is a functional website. And if you go watch Tria Logic's videos, she breaks it down where it was working in the beginning and then it got altered so that certain functions were no longer available. Okay? She knew exactly what she was doing.
We built something, okay? There's probably 100 emails. He was like, phase 1, splash page. People will be able to, like, include some things, whatever. But we haven't built technology where you could actually pull it from Facebook. Because what we were trying to build was for Facebook to be able to talk to Social Autopsy, so nobody had to fill in names.
So again, why were you doing it? You were not the police. You were not the FBI. You were not the harbinger of justice. Why are you starting this website, Candace? Why?
You could just put the profile. Okay. Yeah, it was an archive. So when he said it was a splash, it's a splash. We haven't built it. You don't have the money to build the entire thing out. I thought that was true. I held that as a truth in my head for a full year. It's not like for 18 months. It's not like this was like new and I was like, oh, what does this mean? He emailed that to me in February of 2016. So I just thought it was true. I never questioned it because he's a web developer. Would you question a web developer based?
Yeah. Especially since this might be in the realm of doxing people's private information. Oh, but I'm doing it for the children. Okay, well, you can't be that naive to not fucking question it. You didn't do your research, Candace, and this is what this is focused around. You just listened and believed, and now you're in this mess.
This is what we're doing. Like
I personally would have probably known that if someone called it a non-functioning. I mean, I know.
Great for you.
I think you're conceding. Look, you're conceding. You're conceding a little naivete, perhaps, on your part, or just not understanding phrases,
by the way,
which you probably would understand.
Before I forget, because this is a little bit off of the direct topic, I do want to address a lie Candace told me about maybe 2 or 3 days ago on Twitter. You said that I made an autistic girl cry on YouTube. That I was in a live stream, made an autistic girl cry. That girl has come out and said that she's not autistic.
Right, so I love this because how does it feel when people take hearsay and perpetuate it as the truth? You were so angry that I did that. I literally did this as an experiment because I knew you were going to bring it up, okay? You were so...
She's doing the exact same thing, though. She thinks that just because she said this, that it's 100% accurate and that everybody should believe her.
No, I was told she was autistic. No, I was told she was autistic by who? A bunch of YouTubers have a strong dislike for you and your little gang of YouTubers that take people out. Like, that's what you guys do.
Little gang of YouTubers. Gang. Ladies and gentlemen, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word gang? How about vigilante, troublemakers, spammers, hackers, people who break the law, people who don't have the best intentions? A gang. I think of knives. I think of guns. I think of violence. These are all negative words associated with the word gang. So your little gang of YouTubers. So now YouTubers have gangs. Is that it?
You talk about people you get, and
you're in the same group that you slammed before earlier.
In the same group of people. So if this is what was being told to me, I'm not going to call anybody out. Like I'll fall on the sword or whatever. It was told to me. It was told to me, okay, by about 7 YouTubers, and it is a pretty terrible. Whether the person is autistic, she's out with depression.
So she was told by 7 YouTubers that Blaire White attacked an autistic girl on a live stream. So instead of doing her own research to maybe reach out to this autistic girl that Blaire White harassed, she just listened and believed to the 7 YouTubers that told her this girl was autistic. Candace, you're drowning. You are drowning, sweetheart, and you have no life support.
Anxiety, that the same people that did all of these videos on me did a pile-on for a girl that was depressed and anxious.
Okay.
Let me
clarify what
could
this
be.
was.
I don't want to talk about this. It's off topic. It's nothing to do with what we're here to say.
No, could be about me.
Could be completely a girl that was off her rocker and did whatever. I'm not even going to speculate. But the point is, if you don't like when people do that to you and don't understand all the facts, don't do it to them.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Hold on.
I have
guys,
to clarify.
No, because this is not what we're here for.
Guys,
this is not what we're here for.
Wait. You two can do a different.
Yeah, this is not. I don't ever want to do another live stream. It doesn't matter.
But truthfully, you guys can do it.
I don't want to do another live stream with Blaire White because obviously I used her to get my point across so that people who are gullible and will just listen and believe to what I've said, and I'm truly the victim because I'm a black woman, feminist, woo! You are perpetuating this victimhood narrative and SJWism. Of course you're not going to live stream somebody because people who are smarter than you, Candace, you will just shut them down. You blocked Blaire. You blocked other YouTubers. You're not even going to have a debate with Tree of Logic. Actually, I would love to see a debate between you and Tree of Logic, the person who caught you in your lie. I would love for you to have that conversation. Why don't you reach out towards Tree of Logic?
Where you can hash out all the I said this, you said this was a lie, this was a confused statement, blah blah blah.
But what we're trying to resolve to respond to lies said about her supposedly.
Because this is what we're here for. That's what we're here for. You don't get to hijack. You don't get to hijack the show.
No, because it was.
You don't get to hijack a show. You literally hijacked Ruben's show. This is his show, Candace. It ain't your show. You've spoken over Blaire. You've spoken over Ruben. It's not your show, sweetheart. Not yours. And you totally are unprofessional right now.
Let her respond to that, and then I'm going to try to bring this thing home.
Part of the entire.
Let her respond to that.
Part of the entire back and forth that you and I had, which is part of the reason why we're here, because you and I had back and forth on the internet, was involving you attacking my character, saying it made an autistic girl cry. This girl came out and said that she was absolutely upset that you used that against her. You spread a rumor.
When did she say that?
Go on Twitter.
Okay, she personally inboxed me and told me that you were one of the worst people that she's ever met.
That can be the case.
Yeah, so don't use her. Don't use her as your hero because when you did that, you made her cry.
That can be the case.
Don't use her as your hero. I could be your hero.
Cry.
She also tweeted.
Okay.
She also tweeted.
Don't use her. Don't use her right now. That's messed up. It's messed up. Don't do it.
Don't use her right now. And her words saying that she wasn't a victim of your assault and because that just disproves my point, and I can't use her. So, Candace, you're saying that Blaire can't use her as an example so that you can further prove your lies. You really don't like the negative spotlight, do you?
Use her as your pawn. You already made her cry. Don't use her as your pawn.
Candace.
Don't use her as your pawn.
Guys, this is a sidebar.
Oh
This is a sidebar.
It's a sidebar as your pawn that you made cry.
Hold on. You both can, however you want to deal with this portion of the conversation, you guys could both take that out of this room.
We can't end the stream with her saying that I did not respond.
We're not ending it on that. What we're going to try to end this on is that I think...
I have to respond to that, though. All right, I have to.
All right, you can respond to that. Just let her respond.
No, because no, I don't like the psychology of this because what you did is you made a girl cry in a live stream with a bunch of 5 YouTubers, and now you're going to use that girl as a pawn. I won't do it because what I'm going to actually having to do is saying what.
Gobble 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 gobble. Well, ladies, maybe can we hear the gobble 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 gobble. That's what you both sound like right now. And I agree that Blaire should defend herself, but you're not listening, Candace. You are not having an open discussion about the topic. Poor Ruben. Poor Ruben.
Said to me in private, and I'm not comfortable doing it, so we need to move on entirely. I cannot defend myself. I cannot defend myself.
Dave, she cannot tell me what happened and what I did without me being able to respond. And you're going to let me respond.
It's a video.
You're going to let me respond.
People can watch what you did.
They absolutely can. I'm going to clarify exactly what the situation was. In June, at VidCon, there was someone who came into my private hotel room, illegally tapped me and my friends in the private hotel room. We had a really hard time getting her out. After that happened, I did a live stream with my friends who were in that hotel room.
This girl can't defend herself.
In that hotel room. And we didn't mention her name at all. We were keeping it completely anonymous. We were saying, wow, as friends, we're talking about this crazy thing that happened to us in a hotel in VidCon. Someone came in and illegally tapped us and wouldn't leave. So this person then, because she watches us, began tweeting to let her on and say her piece. She came on the live stream. It was an ugly moment. There was an argument. We talked about how, everything that she did, she was denying everything. It was an ugly moment. I privated the video. What happened was, it's also disgusting to illegally tap someone and then, anyways. So what happened was about 2 or 3 days ago, Candace began tweeting that, basically a complete character attack saying, look who I'm going to be debating, this person made an autistic girl cry. She pulled that out of thin air. Maybe you were told. Maybe
I had a conversation with this girl and I can't defend myself. So this is BS
Candace,
right now.
Candace.
Okay, I hear you. The audience hears you.
Cannot stand him. Literally cannot stand Blaire whatsoever.
She's not autistic, and even if she was autistic, to use that as a scapegoat.
You are double attacking this girl.
Guys,
double attacking this girl right now.
She's not double attacking this girl. She's trying to defend her side of the story, and you're not allowing her to defend her side of the story.
You attacked her in a video, made her cry, and now you're using her to make yourself sound good.
Guys, we either
gotta move on because I can't defend myself. It's a private inbox. Can't defend myself.
Guys, we either stop. We can either stop now.
Don't use a girl that you made cry to make yourself look good right now, because what you guys did was low-based and disgusting.
She publicly said.
She privated the video because it's the crassest moments.
It's a moot point. This isn't why anyone's
It's not why we're here, and what you guys did really exemplifies who you guys are. It's disgusting.
It matters.
I don't care what somebody does to you. You don't do that.
Hold on.
She publicly said she doesn't have autism.
Okay,
She publicly said that.
I heard you say that.
You lied.
I did not lie.
You lied. She does not have autism. You said she does. You lied.
You are
period.
Guys,
as if that matters. First off, I cannot defend myself because I had a private conversation with this girl. I'm not going to say anything.
Candace,
she hates you.
She
absolutely hates you and she thinks you're a disgusting vile human being.
And she retweeted Tree of Logic's video on you, and she hates you as well.
Okay,
all right,
cool.
guys, I'm asking you both as if you've got a little bit of respect for me, we'll end this because I think we're just veering into the wrong way. But I think what I think if we can get this to anything that anyone's going to feel right about, I think basically you have said your piece. There will be a certain amount of people that are going to accept either what your word is or not. That is what it is. I think you have acknowledged a couple points that clarify this. And I don't think that discounts any of your other feelings. All the other fighting, trolling stuff, this is the internet has leaked into real life. That basically is what this is.
Calling it fighting and trolling when it's someone actually.
Why don't you let him talk?
Hang on.
You haven't let anyone talk.
Why don't you let him talk? Why don't you let him talk? Candace! Really? Really? Oh my god.
Don't act like I'm the only one interrupting people. We're all doing it.
At least she's honest about it, people. At least Blaire is honest about it.
All right.
We're all doing it.
I think the point of doing this thing had very little to do with all of the little fighting and who blocked who and all of that stuff, right? The point of this was, what did Candace create? What were the intentions, and what came of it? And I can tell you this. I think I have a sense of what the truth is on that. That is my feeling. The other stuff related to this, I think the stuff maybe, Blaire, that you're responding to a little bit more, is just where I can't spend my life in that part of this. You know what I mean?
I don't want to either, but if someone says a lie, I have to say it was a lie.
And I think that's completely fair. We all have to defend ourselves in different ways. So look, I don't know that we can get anywhere further with this right now. So we can either do the Q&A. There's a bunch of questions that people want to do. If we can do it kind of respectfully and clearly and cleanly, or we can just let it be. But more than anything else, I really hope that the two of you realize that you guys, for all the raw feelings right now, you guys probably agree on 90% of stuff.
I look, that may be true in terms. I honestly don't know what your political beliefs are, but
you don't know what your political beliefs are. You're practically a conservative. Blaire's let her political viewpoints be known on YouTube. All you have to do is your research, Candace. Why don't you do your research? You're good at that.
In terms of how this was dealt with and how it could have been dealt with, I genuinely don't have respect for the situation whatsoever. And I don't think...
Of course you don't, because you're caught in a lie and everybody's attacking you and now you're playing victim.
we're gonna probably be in the same social circles, which is fine with you and fine with me. This isn't what I want for my career, and I consider this.
Oh, it's not, because you just want to make all the money and have everybody take the fall.
Will definitely be a low light.
Look, if
it will definitely be a low light.
Yes.
So I'm pretty disappointed as well in the way it was handled. I'm disappointed in the way that you attempted to damage control all of this, involving telling lies about people. And that was my intention, to come in here and say, what about this lie? What about this lie? And that was the point. Clearly, I conceded that your website, while you never got around to actually doxing someone, even though that was the intent of the website, to spread people's names attached to their employers and their schools, you directly didn't end up having the... Right. You directly didn't end up having the capacity to actually do that because you didn't actually launch the website. However, the information was accessible by people who did dox those people, and all of those people, maybe not all, but I saw about 6 or 7 people whose personal addresses, workplaces, and telephone numbers were doxed. So my entire contention with this was that she created a resource for doxers.
Well, there's a little bit.
And Blaire has definitely made her point vividly clear. I picked up on it. I've criticized it. I've criticized Candace's approach to it, which I hope people watching this video and my commentary will kind of get where Blaire and I are coming from in this. And if I missed something, then please, by all means, people who watch this entirety of this commentary, let me know, because maybe I missed something. I am willing to admit that I might have missed something or got my facts wrong. But I stand with Blaire White on this, in that Candace Owens, whether on purpose or by accident, created a platform for the potential of doxing to occur based on her good intentions. So that's what I think this is about. So
Reminds me of sort of the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I believe your intentions here. I don't attack people's intentions until I see it wrong. I believe your intentions were good. I believe the intentions that you started this thing with were good, and you realized that it was wrong. You are acknowledging that. Whether what people do after that on the internet is sort of hard for any of us to
gauge.
Yeah,
it's crazy that I have to be responsible for what somebody who is really, for anybody to dox anybody, you have to be a pretty nasty human being.
All right.
Yes, but you're partially responsible for creating a platform that will give doxers the access to private information. They didn't create the website, Candace. You did. That's on you. And that's what we're trying to showcase to you, but you were going at every angle to deflect that. That's what's frustrating.
First off, I'll throw it to you guys here. Do you want to do the Q&A if we can do it in a kind of calm way? I'm really okay either way if you just feel like we've gotten to where we need to be.
I feel like we've gotten to where we need to be.
I feel like everybody knows that I'm a self-empowered black woman who's like, I have good intentions, guys. I just did this to save the kids. I don't know about Blaire, who's a fake person, a born male who's passing off as a female, and I'm not going to respect that in this civil debate with adults. But I just want to make sure that everybody knows that my point is clear. And Tree of Logic is a crack whore.
Okay. Maybe Candace wants to go. I can do Q&A. I mean, I'm down. I'm sorry. I'm not even trying for the sake of disagreeing, but I really
Okay. All right, you know what?
This is so off-brand for me to even be across from someone.
All right, you know what? Here's what we're doing.
Because I wanted to clarify that I didn't make a dox.
Why did you invite Blaire? Because you wanted to use her as a means to uplift your side of it and to make yourself look like a victim. That's why she got you, Blaire White. Blaire, if you watch this video, and I hope that you do, please contact me, because I side with you on this, and I totally see it from your point of view as very logical and very common sense. Candace is deflecting.
You could have done this without me.
Okay.
No, you could have done this without me.
Look, you know what? At the end of the day, everyone watch. At the end of the day, everyone watch it. Look, I feel like although this has been sort of nutty, I feel like I actually, whatever questions I had remaining in my mind, I do feel like have been answered for me. I hope that some other people will feel that too. But let's do this. We're going to do a 20-minute Q&A. We're going to do it because people have been in this thing asking. I don't want to be disrespectful of their time. All right, guys. Give us literally 60 seconds just to refill some waters, and we're going to take a breath, and all right, we'll be right back.
Which is really great because I have to go take another pee break.
All right, guys, we're back. We took a breath. We refilled Blaire's water. We're going to try to tone it down just for the Q&A. Everything being equal, as I said, I feel like I got what I needed. I know we're getting lost in a little bit of this stuff, and you guys can all continue to make videos or not make videos, and Candace can respond or not. Blaire can never talk about this again, or she can. Everyone can live their life the way we want. That's the beauty of freedom, okay? So we're going to do a couple questions here. The first few were comments, actually, on Super Chat. As a web developer, I've created front ends that allowed for rudimentary data collection, such as name and address, to build out all the layers and test the underlying code. That is a far cry from a fully functional website. So I think that's something that Candace has consistently been saying. Someone on Super Chat said, take control, Davey boy. It's a little late for that. Okay. Someone on Super Chat said, tune in, drop out, same. I would never tell a client that such a site had a database because it gives them the impression that it is fully functional when it isn't. I would have called my demo version splash pages too.
Okay, well, that's a fair point. So as a web designer, like, you should make that abundantly clear to a customer in regards to the functionality of their websites. So
this, all right. I'm just going through these in the order that they are. I did not pick this order here. Someone said, really great content. Thanks for exploring the misunderstanding. Red Pill Black was innocent the entire time, but Blaire...
No, she wasn't.
Some fair points. Even if the criticism was moot, still a fan of both of you. Okay, and I think you guys are actually going to have a lot of crossover in fans, which is the funny part here. Dave looks so happy to finally have a live debate on his show again. All right, I'll take it.
The first?
I'm going to have to start watching a lot more Rubin Report, so, because I think this is the first live stream that I've ever seen. Or, sorry, a live debate on the Rubin Report, so. Plus, he's cute.
Well, this is the first that went to this level, let's say. I've had some conversations that we did.
Where basically two women got their claws out.
Debates about God and things like that. Ruben, please tell both girls to stop shouting, interrupting, and trying to one-up each other. Breathe, slow down, and be patient. You want to all take a breath together?
Yes. So that next time when you have a live debate, it doesn't resort to name-callings, mudslinging, and yelling over top of each other, and interrupting the host.
Little late.
I agree.
I will say,
okay,
we shouldn't have screamed. I will say that. It was dumb.
Yeah. Listen, I will gladly, if you guys will ever do it, have you both over for dinner at some other point when this is all, behind us, and we can talk the rest of it out over some booze.
I probably wouldn't have them over for dinner unless, like, you're a really good cook, Ruben. Like, unless you can, like, make a spectacular dinner, then yes, I would have them over. But that's just me.
Somebody said the reason why people piled on Red Pill Black recently is due to algorithms, not a conspiracy. So that's interesting. I mean, we all sort of discussed that a little bit before, that it's hard to know how much of this is, are these people all coordinating? Is it paid?
Yeah, so basically algorithms. Facebook has algorithms, YouTube has algorithms, and basically things that are popular gain more views, gain more attention, which I think was the intent of Candace by having the dropping buzzwords like Richard Spencer, white nationalist, people attacking her, playing the victim. So, semantics also plays a role in this, and how the web designer and her were exchanging information about this social autopsy. So yes, algorithms will draw more attention to these types of videos because they're controversial. And I believe Candace Owens knew that.
To say fair, like, I am new to YouTube. Like, I think people don't understand that. Like, I don't understand what you might perceive to be so normal. How long have you been on YouTube?
About a year and 7 months.
Yeah, so what you might perceive to be so normal because you're a more experienced YouTuber, like, I've only been on YouTube for 2-3 months. Like, it just seems...
Yeah, but you can still do your research in regards to the terms of services, the guidelines, having access to multiple platforms that discuss these things. So you cannot be that naive, okay? You can't be that naive. I'm sorry. Like, you're a grown woman and you have this mess of a drama on your shoulders right now. So if anything that Candace Owens can learn from this experience is that you have to do more research. So I hope that she learns that.
Crazy to me that 11 YouTubers would jump into a super chat. That might be totally normal. It could be my own ignorance, but it just seemed very aggressive.
Yeah, it's more YouTube's a real thing.
I think it's more of a case of like this was just something that was a hot topic at the time.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Someone here did ask a good question that I think a few people that we didn't address that I think a bunch of people have said. So he's saying that people were mad the site was never taken down. So why wasn't the splash? I meant to ask you this actually. Why wasn't the splash page taken down until what, about 10 days ago? Or
because I wanted to be really honest with people about my background, where I came from. I never thought like
you wanted to be honest, but you blocked people, you deflected, you're saying it's nothing to do with you, and you're calling out other YouTubers as gangs or aggressors or crackheads like Tree of Logic. So I don't think you mean what you say, because you did the opposite.
to delete my past. I always talked about it. I was very forward with it. This is something that came up. They didn't find this. Like I said, they didn't break the story. I had been talking about it in every single interview. And as I said, we didn't build the technology out. And I'm happy those web developers are saying that they would call it a splash page, because that's what it was called. We didn't build the technology. So I thought no harm, no foul. It's not functioning. Leave it there. And it was going to naturally expire in February, which it is.
Okay, a few people said this, which is one of Blaire's main points. If you had just taken down the site, which you're addressing now, nobody would have cared. But the doubling down and calling people like Tree of Logic, quote, funded, made everything worse. So
again, yes, we are holding Candace responsible for her either lack of action or her actions that deflected against people. She literally blew this out of proportion, which she could have handled it in a much more mature manner. So because she didn't, and she expressed SJW tendencies, a lot of people took that, and now it is what it is. So if she didn't overreact, this wouldn't be a thing.
Blaire's made a couple times.
And you have to provide evidence for that kind of thing. You say that.
I want someone to look at me the way Dave Rubin's looking at his assortment of whiskey right now. It's all right there. There's a lot of good stuff over there.
That was me you're looking at.
Hey, remember, I needed to get a drink as well, so I totally get that that follower, and I get Dave Rubin.
I could have just actually stepped off camera and started drinking.
No one would have cared. No one would have noticed.
That would have been so.
Yeah, no, those two would not have noticed if you had left and like saved a cat from a tree, or a family from a burning building, and then come back all charred or whatever. You'd be like, guess what I just did? Did something way more important than this fucking cat fight. Nobody would have noticed.
Hey, Candace, your site is well-intentioned as it is, but has tremendous potential of abuse. You're acknowledging that.
Yeah.
Why do you trust yourself, or anyone else for that matter, with that kind of power?
By the way,
Wait, that is a very good question, which would showcase her naivety and her ignorance as to how human beings work. She's assuming that nobody's going to use this with ill intent, but that's false. Okay? Never, I'm sorry to say this, but don't trust complete strangers, especially with the type of platform or power source that they could use and potentially fuck up people's lives. So again, I'm trying to hold Candace responsible for her actions here, but she keeps deflecting. So
I've said 1,000 times, totally naive, stepped into an internet culture that I wanted nothing to do with, and it had nothing to do with politics. It just was.
And yet you still had the website up until 10 days ago. Except you still attacked other people and used buzzwords in order to gain popularity. Where's the money going, Candace? What about all the conservatives who funded your Kickstarter or put money towards this site? Are you going to refund back their money?
To be something I've said often, it was something that was intended that was for good, and it would have very quickly been used for evil.
Yeah. All right. Here's one that a couple of people have also addressed, sort of, and I think Blaire kind of hit this. Candace, why are you calling YouTubers with more subs than you bottom feeders and basement dwellers? It was not jealousy; it was a critique.
And those people are right. So the fact that they have more subscribers than you and you are just getting off the ground, like, that's not a jealousy thing. Fuck.
And if you think a critique to me is doing one video that's interactive, when you do 5 videos and you're talking about somebody's looks, okay, and they talked about everything, they every layer of me, like the videos that I do, they don't even like my content, all this stuff.
So basically you took it to heart. Instead of having a thick skin and realizing that either they're trolls or, just ignoring them or interacting with them to call them out on their behavior, you just played the victim card. That's what you did.
If it was just a critique, fine. They went into full insult. And to me, that's a bottom-feeding tactic. That's very high school and it's very juvenile. If they had stuck to the facts, they would have had much more respect, but they didn't.
Oh, just like you have been acting in a very high school manner, listening and believing, not doing any of your research and attacking your opponent, speaking over them, interrupting, and, passively, aggressively attacking the host of a live debate as well by silencing them. So who's the one acting like a basement dweller or a bottom dweller?
Okay. Andy Worski made cogent arguments about what the problem was, and you have yet to address them. Lots of people just want an apology. Personally, I want to forgive you. However, your adversarial stance makes that difficult. So you did sort of say that you don't want to apologize because your intentions were not...
No, it's not even that. It's just that, as we've already said, I didn't build something that could be that could dox people.
You kind of did, though. Or at least your web designer did. But you still are okay with gaining the money.
I was going to finish my statement before. If those people got doxxed, of course, and if their lives, I don't think they were, because it's been a year, we would have heard about it. If their lives were ruined because their address was put on the deep web of Kiwi Farms, of course I'm sorry that happened as a result of something that I was building and was never launched because for some reason people were able to access it on the back end. Of course I'm sorry, but...
So again, because you didn't understand how a web design works and you just punched it through without doing your proper research, listening and believing that it was just a splash page, people still misused your platform. That is essentially unnecessary because in your own words, you can get information on people through Facebook and other social media without the use of your Social Autopsy website. So again, my question, and for all the audience members watching this, why do you still want to have this website? Why are you still promoting it? Why are you still defending it? Because if it's unnecessary, then what is the purpose of this website?
Being asked to apologize for doxing people, and I never did it. So of course I'm going to double down and say, no, I'm not apologizing for that because I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Can I just say that Kiwi Farms is objectively not considered deep web.
Okay, so I do very
specific.
I think this may be a little bit of one of the definition things. So I did see a few. I don't know. I actually don't know. But I did see a few comments that a bunch of people are saying Kiwi Farms is not deep web because it's publicly accessible. So
I didn't know.
Deep web is you have to use some sort of program.
She didn't know that, guys, but she vividly and wholeheartedly defended the idea that it was deep web. She just...
hide your IP and go really deep. That's... Yeah.
I didn't know.
Okay.
I don't know what to say other than I didn't know.
Okay.
I pretend that I know things I don't.
Okay, that's...
Well, you could apologize for it, Candace, like a reasonable person did for getting something wrong, because, hey, being wrong is cool, after all.
All right, so the problem is gathering information in one place. Organization of this data make it a more pointed tool for a bad actor to use. So this is absolutely what your point was. It's not okay to say it's completely your fault, but you can say putting the information under one roof is not as the same as getting it off on Facebook. So that's an interesting distinction.
Right,
they could have done this on Facebook.
The way it was organized, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the information to go. So they're going to go there first. I totally understand that. As I said, it never launched, and I don't know how many times I can say that it hasn't launched.
Yes, we get that it never launched, but people still used it to find information on people. You stated it yourself that it's not really that necessary when people can easily find people on Facebook, and there are ways that some people can get other people's information. This is the risk of putting ourselves out there. So what is the point of your website?
I get this argument of if, but I don't live in a world of ifs. I didn't launch it. I dropped the project. I realized it could be used for evil.
Okay. Like Lacey, so I think they're talking about Lacey Green. Like Lacey, who was skeptical at first but seems okay, and others who, quote, changed sides, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and let them prove they've changed. The dangers of the project were that big. I'm not totally sure I followed all that.
So yeah, he's talking about when Lacey Green was red-pilled, and then she started seeing Chris Ray Gun. So I was a bit skeptical as well when it came to Lacey Green because she's been a vivid, dumb feminist for years, and she had her show which perpetuated lies and falsehoods, and it was just a typical feminist, right? But now that she wanted to have discussions with the opposition, people who disagreed with her, I mean, I congratulated her initially because that takes a lot of bravery to do that. And I think my stance on Lacey Green has changed for the better because I do think she's actually learning to grow up. She's learning to listen. She's taking in a lot of the rhetoric that the right, conservatives or anti-feminists, non-feminists alike, are saying about feminism and leftist ideology. So I really think that she's on a good path. She's growing up, and I support Lacey Green in that aspect. She still calls herself a feminist, which she has a right to do. There's still some things that are not really 100% correct, I don't think, with Lacey. She sees things in different ways, and that's totally her right to do so. And I hope that maybe one day in the future, Lacey and I can have a conversation as well, and we can hash out some ideas and maybe come to some arrangement to compromise on some agreement.
Blaire, are you going to do another chat with Theron soon, maybe about free speech? And have either of you seen Ferguson the play?
I haven't, and I should do another stream with him.
A nice stream. I like Theron. I've actually met Theron face-to-face on my trip to Vancouver for a talk that Karen Strawn had. She was a very pleasant lady, very beautiful. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about Theron and Blaire about freedom of speech.
She's cool.
All right, let's see. It's not. It's Taryn, right?
Theron.
It's Theron?
Yeah.
All right, okay. All right. There's a couple other things here, but I think...
Theron Meyer reached out to me. She sent me an email.
Yeah?
Actually, yeah.
All right, listen. I don't know that we got exactly what we wanted to get out of this, but I don't know that that's actually possible in these, with the way these things go.
No, it's really not. Especially after that cat fight.
So, you both have ally in me, and none of us are perfect, and I hope we got somewhere with this thing. So I hope that you guys feel like we got somewhere with this thing. What are the chances the internet just stops with this right now? That's how the internet behaves, right?
Yeah, things blow over. And then that was my whole thing. It was like, I didn't understand why it was like drawn out. If like all this was so easily cleared up, why she couldn't have made, I mean, honestly, if it was me, and again, I'm not you, but if it was me and there was all these lies about me or rumors about me, the first thing I would have done is made a video on my channel and said, this isn't true, this isn't true, this isn't true. But instead, you blocked everyone asking questions, you blocked all criticism, and you drew it out until this day on the Rubin Report, which honestly, I know it probably seems like, oh, we'll get, it'll be heard more because of the Rubin Report, but in reality, people who are wondering about this will go directly to your channel. So, I don't know, that would just be I'm not trying to be condescending, that would be my advice. If anything ever happens like this, you should probably just do it on your channel.
Right, I genuinely...
Yeah, I think she makes a point. So if I was being accused of, terrible acts of racism or hate crime or really nobody really understanding my position, I would, of course, make a defense video in regards to that. There'd be people who would watch it and would agree with it. Others would disagree with it. And obviously people would criticize it and make fun of it. But that's just what happens when one is put in the spotlight and has to defend their stance. So I agree with Blaire on this.
Not think that this was going to be this blind of a portion, especially for something that never launched, A. And B, I did not feel that, I don't like that you keep saying that you should have responded to the questions. The videos were already made. That's a huge insult to go out and make.
Yeah, but you could still reach out to these YouTube creators and you could still have an open dialogue. Why didn't you have live streams with them? Why didn't you type out something? Why didn't you defend yourself with your own video? Instead, Blaire's right. You block them and then you attack them and then you ad hominem all over the place. So basically, your actions in this was inappropriate and didn't help you in the long run, I don't think.
About someone before you contact them, I didn't cut you off. Please don't cut me off. Okay? To make videos about someone.
Yeah, you cut her off so many times throughout this whole live debate. So you don't get that respect anymore. Sorry.
Contact them. I just think it's wrong. And I am not going to, as I said, the expression negotiate with terrorists and say this is what you have to do now to make amends because.
But they're not terrorists. They're people who are YouTubers who are just criticizing your actions as being wrong. That's not terrorism. Terrorism would mean that there would be a body count, and there's no body count. So you're wrong. They're not terrorists.
Bunch of videos about you. I didn't like it. I thought it was nasty, and I dealt with it as I dealt with it.
It's interesting. It's interesting to me as the three of us do put videos up on YouTube for whatever we consider ourselves. You also do learn about this in different ways. A year ago, if people had been attacking me the way they attack me now, I might have fought more. I now see it as an exercise in futility, which I think is sort of where you're at, and perhaps your style would be to to attack them back more, and plenty of people do that. And
just different styles, different approaches.
Different styles. I just think it would have been a lot more.
That's fine.
Productive.
That's if that's what.
And I agree with Blaire again. I think that Candace, in a more productive manner, could have dealt with this backlash in a better way, but she chose not to, and she chose to play the victim. So she's a typical SJW. She is performing in the typical SJW tactics and deflections and not accepting her role in any of this. So she could have done it a lot better. That's my one critique of Candace, is that she could have really done better in how she dealt with this.
That's absolutely fine.
All right. Well, I hope you guys got something out of this, and the conversation obviously is going to continue. I'm going to try to convince them both to have a drink with me right now, and we shall
to drink right now.
See how that goes. You both didn't.
Oh, Dave, trying to ease the tensions with alcohol. Don't you know that when a woman is inebriated, under the influence, and if you make a pass on her or like something, you're automatically a rapist. Thanks, leftism.
Exactly, say no with those looks.
All right. Drinking.
All right, thanks, guys. See ya.
All right, guys, there you go. It was quite long. Over 4 hours worth, so I got to do a little bit of editing. I'll probably be breaking this up into 3 parts, and then maybe a last part with the Q&A. If you've watched this entirety, the entirety of this video through my commentary, let me know what you guys think. Do you side with Candace on that? Do you think she was innocent? Do you side with Blaire? And do you think she had good points? Very good questions. What do you think about my commentary? Hopefully I was pretty level, pretty even based. There was a point where I got a little bit on the rant side of it, and I got a little bit emotional. And if you like my content, please become a patron on my Patreon. I'll leave a link down below, and I will leave all the other links to videos talking more about Candace there in the low bar. And yeah, so look out for future videos. I'm currently working on a Kevin Spacey one in regards to his supposed sexual assault of Anthony Rapp. And we'll go from there. All right, guys, you have a good one. And remember to take care of one another. I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.